YouTube, grrah here, and it's time for another album review. Today we are going to be talking about this new Ice Spice album, Y2k. This is her debut LP following 2023's Like, which was her debut EP that followed her breakout moment in 2022 that was spearheaded by the TikTok viral track Much Feeling You, followed by other singles such as Bikini Bottom and In Hum Mood. This whole breakout moment from 2022 through 2023 really showed her taking her breakout moment and saying, this is my starting point and I'm only going up from here. Because of her success in the last couple years, we have been, frankly, waiting for the official debut LP. And it is finally here, and it is slightly underwhelming, but only slightly in my opinion. Firstly, I love the fact that the album is called Y2k. Given that she was born on January 1st, 2000, which honestly really points to the fact that she was chosen by some higher realm to be the people's princess, to be the Gen Z Nicki Minaj, if you will, which she does state lyrically on this album multiple times. And this self-referential statement, I think, is a great way to do a debut. And further, overall, this album has Y2k hip-hop inspiration, whether it's the production, her early Nicki Minaj-esque inspired performances, or lyrical references. The track listing on this project is great, as each track on here leads seamlessly into the next one. The first track, Fat Butt, was the third single for this album rollout that I'm not sure was necessary, to be honest. I think it could have been taken out of the pre-album single rollout, but I digress. Opens up the album with a slightly different vibe for her, which definitely foreshadows the rest of the album, being fairly versatile for her while still being in the lane that she has carved for herself. There are definitely some subtle Nicki vibes in her performance on this track, as well as a lyrical reference to Nicki. You could even argue that the line "rap bitch on the pop charts, posting bitches like Pop-Tarts" is also a reference to Nicki, as Nicki was really one of the first, if not the first, to do that in a really legit and sustainable way. And obviously Nicki has kind of taken Ice Spice under her wing, as last year she hopped on Princess Diana, a track off of the EP Like. To put it simply, Ice Spice in many ways is kind of following in Nicki's footsteps, just in her own way. Track 2, feat Travis Scott, is in my opinion the most underwhelming and boring track on this album. Track 3, Papa, grabs my attention a bit more, as her flow and cadence is super different for her, and it's really fun to hear her working outside of her comfort zone. However, it is still sort of in the Nicki vein, and it falls a bit short of that. Track 4, Bitch I'm Packin' feat Gunna, again brings a different delivery for her that is mostly effective, but frankly could have used a bit more fine-tuning, attention to detail, specification of inflections, etc. Track 5, Plenty Sun, brings a nice delivery and flow from Ice, especially in the chorus. Track 6, Did It First, feat Central C, the fourth and final single for the album rollout, the most recent one. The one that has a shit ton of lore attached to it, that has definitely shown Ice Spice presenting herself in maybe not the kindest light. But to be fair, that is not her brand, and fair enough. I love the beat and production, especially with the little vocal effect on this track. It's honestly one of the catchiest tracks on the album. The fact that it has all that lore attached to it kind of makes it a standout track. Track 7, BB Belt, has some nice embellishments in her delivery that some of the previous tracks I mentioned could have used. Track 8, Thank You The Shit Fart, was of course the first single for this album rollout. It's an iconic track. I love the beat and how it develops, and I love the track lyrically. Track 9, Give Me a Light, the second single, is on first glance the most impressive track on this album. But then when you take a step back, you kind of realize again there's not a lot of detail in her performance, which in fact does not match the very detailed production. Another thing that doesn't match on this track is the intro and outro. Sean Paul, I believe, sample. It just doesn't match the actual song. So overall, I think this is an okay debut album for Ice Spice, but honestly it does feel a bit thrown together. It's just over 20 minutes. Like, this album kind of says to me that she feels like she doesn't need to make a solid body of work to stay relevant. But the gag is that if that is the case, she's right. As she says on here, she is more of a brand and frankly a pop star than a rapper or even a musician for that matter. She is an all-encompassing capital C celebrity, and frankly that has staying power outside of just music itself. But to play devil's advocate, she got to this place because of her clear musical talent and uniqueness. So going forward, I would like to see more of that from her personally. So I'm gonna give this album a 6. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and remember to hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify, all linked below. Make sure to keep up with my Song of the Week series on YouTube Shorts that comes out every Saturday. Stay happy, healthy, and safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.